names for segments this year with it's better, worse, or the same. A game in which we decide if whether a team is better, worse, or the same. Had to think about that one for a while. We'll begin in Tennessee, where the big addition for the Titans this offseason was Julio Jones, but they also added several pieces on the other side of the ball, including Bud Dupree, Janoris Jenkins, and first-round pick Caleb Farley, plus Nico Autry. They did lose Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis, as well as cornerback Adoree Jackson and Malcolm Butler, who were both cut. Jadeveon Clowney is also gone after just one season as a Titan. A lot of activity, but I ask you first, Marcus, are the Titans better, worse, or about the same?
They are absolutely better, Phil. And it's because of what you just showed on the defensive side of the football. Obviously, we know about getting Julio Jones, but between Bud Dupree, who is a premium pass rusher, and Denico Autry, and you think about the guy they drafted in Caleb Farley, who might have been the best corner in the draft had it not been for a little back operation that he had. And we know Jack Rabbit is an elite defender on the outside, makes plays all over the field. But they needed pass rush, and they addressed it. And I believe they have a budding star as well that remains on this team in Jeffrey Simmons, who is a big physical interior pass rusher who can get to the quarterback but also demand a double team on the run. This defense got better, and that was the Titans' downfall. I expect them to be better this year as a whole, and it's not going to be such a cakewalk for the Colts in this division.
Swagoo, I agree with you. Marcus, I think that you are 100% correct. Where you can improve your defense and especially your pass rush, that is going to give your offense more touches. Yeah. And you know that Tennessee, with the amount of ground and pound with Henry and the ability to run the football and then mix in the play action pass, I think that adding a pass rush, helping the defense. Last year, they struggled getting to the quarterback. We all saw that. They were in the bottom of the league when it came to getting after opposing quarterbacks. So if they can increase their pressure statistics defensively, I think that they'll be a better team. So I agree. I think that they have improved this offseason, and I expect big things out of Tennessee this season.
Well, we all certainly can't wait to watch that offense. We'll move from Tennessee to Baltimore, where this offseason, the Ravens look to address their wide receiver issues, signing Sammy Watkins in free agency and then drafting Rashad Bateman in the first round. They also retooled their offensive line. They traded away Orlando Brown Jr. They acquired Alejandro Villanueva and Kevin Zeitler. Of course, they also get back Ronnie Stanley. But they did lose a big piece on defense in Matt Judon. So, Nink, I ask you the same question. Are the Ravens better, worse, or about the same as where they were last year?
Look, that's a tough question. I'm going to go with they stayed the same. And I say that because you bring in an older receiver who isn't, he's not a young guy, right? Then you bring in a rookie, and it's hard for a rookie to come in and make a huge impact year one. I mean, look, a rookie's got to go through some bumps and bruises and learn the system and the speed of the NFL. So you look at the receiving core, they were lacking some weapons, and you get a little bit older receiver, you lose Snead, you get a young receiver and a rookie, but still, I think that addressing the offensive line things can help, but at the end of the day, it comes down to Lamar and how well can he perform in those situations. We saw it last year, coming back against Cleveland when he came out of the tunnel and threw a touchdown pass. He's going to have to carry this team. We all know that. But I think they really stayed the same when I look at just their overall roster and what they did this offseason.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Rob, but staying the same mean they a playoff team again. So it's not all doom and gloom for the Baltimore Ravens. And when you think about what Rob just said, if Bateman or Sammy Watkins can increase production in the passing game, that will be tremendous for the Baltimore Ravens. But staying the same right now because you do lose Yannick Ngakoue and Matthew Judon, who are two guys that could get after the passer, and your defense may take a hit as far as rushing the passer. But when you think about the Baltimore Ravens, all right, and I'm going to say this until the cows come home, if they can evolve the pass game, and they at least made an attempt to get better at those positions between Rashad Bateman in the draft and Sammy Watkins coming over as a wily veteran. And Sammy played some really good football for Kansas City, so I don't want to throw Sammy Watkins out to the barn, but he's definitely going to upgrade what they did at wide receiver. I think Baltimore stayed the same, but they have the potential of being better. It just depends on how fast those two guys come along in Sammy Watkins and Rashad Bateman.
Both those teams are, of course, chasing Kansas City in the AFC, and it was a very busy offseason for the Chiefs, who completely overhauled their offensive line, adding potentially 3 new starters there and getting right guard Laurent Duvernay-Tardif back after he opted out last year. However, they did lose former top overall pick Eric Fisher, cornerback Bashaud Breeland, and we just talked about Sammy Watkins plus Mitchell Schwartz. So, Swagoo, will come right back to you. Are the Chiefs better, worse, or about the same?
The Chiefs are better, Phil. And one, the Chiefs are better because obviously they upgraded this offensive line. But I believe they also will be better because they acknowledge what happened to them last year in the Super Bowl. And even me, picking them to win the championship, knowing all I know about football, when they were trying to piece together an offensive line against the best defense in the NFL. I was stupid because I thought Patrick Mahomes could overcome that. But obviously, they self-evaluated, understand when he's protected, you got a shot to win any game. When he's not, he's going to have to be Superman and a lot of other things or have to go well. I like Orlando Brown. I like Tooney coming over. And I like the fact that, don't miss this, Jarran Reed inside with Chris Jones will make a difference for this defense. I think that's a sneaky move throughout the whole NFL that people have not paid enough attention to. But Chris Jones with somebody next to him that can rush the passer and potentially occupy a double team will open up even more for him. This Jarran Reed signing could end up being one of the moves we look at down the road and say, that was more impactful for the Kansas City Chiefs than a lot of other teams that made moves on defense being impactful for.
Yeah, Marcus, listen, I've been going back and forth on this. I know we were going through the meetings, and I said I was a little on the edge of if they – no, I'm going to go with I understand a defensive lineman, and you see an offensive line, and you can never give them the credit they deserve. But when you get an offensive line and they did go out there and make some moves, you go get Tooney, you pay him a big contract. I know Long is having an issue right now with an injury, but you bring in a guy like Kyle Long, you address the tackle situation. I mean, look, if you give Patrick Mahomes just a half second more time, guess what? That Super Bowl is completely different. So I think that they did improve. And I was about to hate on the offensive linemen and say, no, they didn't improve. But they did improve. Look, they improved their offensive line. And then this is the one thing that I do love. And I was listening to a quote by Kelsey. And Kelsey said that all his accolades and all the stats that he had in 2020, it didn't matter because it was a failure. It was a failed season. Yep. And I love that attitude. Yep. So if everybody on that roster has that same mentality of last year was a failure, watch out because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be out to seek and destroy.
I get the sense the Chiefs do very much share that mentality of getting back to where they were 2 seasons ago. New on NFL Live, we've got a story that's developing right now. As Adam Schefter tweeted not long ago.